on KVR News, the controversy behind a popular community,
and how preschool funding is expanding.
You're watching KVR News,
Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage.
Broadcasting live from the Texas Student Television Studios at the University of Texas. You're watching KVR News at 9, Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage. Your news starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to KVR News for Monday, April 13th. I'm Stacy Rickard.
And I'm Cinnamon Cornell.
Big political news tonight. A proposal to close the Austin State-supported Living Center is creating controversy at the Capitol.
Our Avery Travis is live in the studio with more on this. Avery, what can you tell us about the future of the center?
Thanks, Cinnamon. Over 200 people live at the Austin State-supported Living Center, which specializes in helping intellectually or developmentally disabled, or IDD, people. Today, Senate Bill 204 passed after recommendations by the Sunset Advisory Council that Austin SSLC be the first to close in part of a larger plan to consolidate the 13 centers across the state of Texas. The families and guardians of the residents are speaking out against Senate Bill 204 and have even written up a petition against the bill.
And my sister Jackie Parker.
Tammy Parker has been visiting the center since 1958 to see her sister Jackie, who's a resident and has Down syndrome. Tammy says that she could not have recreated the experience her sister has had at the center in Austin anywhere else.
If I could take care of her at home, I would. It's impossible. I can't afford it. She would not be happy.
If closed, residents of the center would either transition to community-style living homes or temporarily to one of the other centers across Texas. Dr. Forrest Novi, whose brother is a resident of the Living Center in Austin, agrees that inclusion is great for IDD people that can thrive in the community, but there are exceptions.
But there are a subpopulation of individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities for whom the community is not a safe place.
Recommendations to close the center came after pressure that the center wasn't meeting regulations and because of reports of abuse and neglect. Nona Rogers says that the word abuse is misleading to the general public, but families know that accidents happen.
Those of us who are familiar with behaviors and love having our residents live in the campus setting understand.
Melissa Gale of the Department of Aging and Disability Services says that because of the strict scrutiny of the Department of Justice, the center must report every incident.
That could be something as simple as a bruise that wasn't there on the first shift, and by the second shift there's a bruise. So they make up a report, they self-report to the agency, and we go out and investigate.
Today, author of the bill, Senator Hinojosa, explained that they recognize how emotional this is for those involved, which is why they have instead formed a restructuring committee to determine how many centers, besides the Austin one, if any, will need to be closed in the future.
Social media went ablaze Sunday following Hillary Clinton's announcement that she will run for president in 2016. No other Democrats have yet announced, though. Former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley, former Virginia U.S. Senator Jim Webb, and former Rhode Island Governor Lincoln Chafee have stated that they are considering running. A win in the primary by Clinton could mean the first time that a woman has captured the presidential nomination of a major party. Republicans to already announce their candidacy are Texas U.S. Senator Ted Cruz and Kentucky U.S. Senator Rand Paul, and just today, Marco Rubio. Roughly a dozen other Republicans, including former Texas Governor Rick Perry and former Florida Governor Jeb Bush, have indicated that they are considering running. This afternoon, members of Austin's LGBTQ community met together for a call to action at the state capitol to show support for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender Texans. The event held by Equality Texas was in honor of Freedom and Advocacy Day. Today's event allowed members of the community to talk more about the need for gender equality in Texas, after seeing a national trend that continues to show a growing acceptance of gay rights across the country. This past week, an event on campus called Life in Texas Family Detention Centers was held to bring awareness to the community on the issue of Mexican American and Latino studies, presented a screening of No Sanctuary, Big Business and Family Detention, where filmmaker Matthew Gossage spoke about the documentary. along with panelists where audience members were able to discuss their thoughts on the documentary about a mother and daughter who were held in Kearney's detention center in Texas after fleeing El Salvador.
It's a story about how our government has responded to immigrants and refugees instead of with welcoming, but with fear and by using detentions run by private prisons. And it's also about the alternatives to that and how alternatives exist and are working, and about the communities that are standing beside the families and working for alternatives.
Preschool is not only a time where children begin to learn their shapes and colors, it's when they also begin to learn basic social skills like how to interact with other children. This is something the nonprofit group United Way ATX recognized, and in order to avoid any child missing out on their early education, they developed a $215,000 grant to help AISD in expanding pre-K education for low-income students.
If you start behind, you're more likely to stay behind, eventually have to repeat a grade, and sometimes even drop out of high school and fail to graduate altogether. So our goal is to make sure low-income children have access to high-quality early care and education so they can start kindergarten ready to learn with all the skills and self-confidence they need to do so.
The new grant is expected to assist nearly 500 3-year-olds in the Austin area.
The recent shortage of Texas beef cows has caused a major price hike in the last 5 years. The price of Texas brisket has more than doubled from 2009. Stacy Rickard reports on the various ways that brisket prices can skyrocket and how this price hike affects consumers.
The Texas beef cow supply shrank from 5 million to just under 4 million last year. This is the steepest drop ever recorded in Texas. Benno Lunsman of Seguin Cattle Company says the stock of cattle has definitely changed during the last few decades.
Our cattle numbers at the present time are the lowest that they've been since the 1950s.
Lunsman experiences criticism from environmentalists who say cattle farmers mismanage livestock and are irresponsible with manure control.
Ever since the earth was formed, you know, we've had these animals produce the droppings and so forth. And I don't think it's ever killed anybody. It's just one of those things that certain environmentalists think, hey, that's bad for you, but we still believe in the old nature's way of taking care of things.
Centennial Professor of Natural Resource Policy Dave Eaton defends these farmers, saying they're more attentive to the sustainability of their farms.
They are the real environmentalists because they practice it, and their livelihood is related to environmental sustainability.
Local restaurants have had to start pushing other products like poultry and pork in order to combat the rising beef prices.
We did have one price increase on our menu board just to help cover part of the cost. Didn't cover all the cost by any stretch. So while it helps, it doesn't completely offset it. And other than that, we just absorb the cost at this point and hopefully won't have to raise our prices again.
The cattle market is predicted to be in this lull until mid-2016, with beef in high supply by the year's end. People will be paying high dollar for Texas barbecue until the beef cycle returns to normal again.
Another Listeria recall this month. Sauber Dipping Company has recalled over 30,000 cases of hummus due to a possible contamination of Listeria. It was discovered during a routine quality assurance check in a Michigan store on March 30th, when a case tested positive for Listeria. Anyone that has purchased this product is urged to throw it away.
Still to come, STI testing on campus. What you need to know.
And UT students brave the shade for a good cause.
You're watching KVR News.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
No.
Really?
You can't wear it here.
I'm wearing like 5 layers of pantyhose. Nothing is gonna fall out.
Sorry, it's just rules. Like, even if Public Health Junior Tyler Grant posted this video to Twitter on Saturday after being denied service at the West Campus Waterburger. Grant said that they were discriminated against for being genderqueer and wearing women's clothing, seen in this photo taken Friday night. Grant said that the officer working had no problem with their clothing until they heard them speak and asked if they were a dude. Waterburger Corporate said in a Monday statement that it doesn't allow customers into its restaurants that are wearing inappropriately revealing clothing. Grant said their clothing wasn't revealing. DPS spokesperson Tom Vinger said Monday in an email that the officer was working off-duty at a secondary job.
And then I think when he heard me speak is whenever he said, "Wait, are you a dude?" And I said, "That's not a very polite question to ask." He said, "You can't go in there like that."
The 2015 Longhorn Run kicked off on Saturday, welcoming runners young and old to run a 5K or a 10K race. Our Cinnamon Cornell shows us the sea of burnt orange that ran through the streets of Austin and the UT campus.
After weeks, even months of training, UT students, faculty, staff, and fellow Austinites gathered together for the 2015 Longhorn Run. This year's event brought in record-breaking numbers, with an 800 participant increase. The Longhorn Run began in 2010 as a student government initiative.
It's the Longhorn Run. They feel it's part of their identity. We're challenging them, and I think that's really special. That's, for many of these runners, this is their first official 5K, 10K, first official time to, think about running. So to be able to provide that opportunity for them is huge.
The 2015 Longhorn Run was a success. I'm here with over 3,000 runners, a record average for the event.
In 2014 alone, the event raised $32,000. All proceeds go directly to the UT Student Government and Recreational Sports Excellence Fund.
This is in its 5th year, and I think just people knowing that it's happening every year, if people know their friends are doing it, so they're like, hey, I want to sign up for that too. So each year we're getting bigger and bigger turnout, and it went awesome this year.
On race day, the Longhorn Run's committee goal of 3,300 participants was surpassed, with a total of 3,596 runners.
It's on campus, you get to walk and run by the tower, you get to run through campus, you get to see parts of Austin that are fun, and it's just a chance to come out and show your spirit.
The University of Texas's 40 for 40 Acres campaign raised nearly $370,000. The campaign started the morning of April 8th and ended the evening of April 9th. During 40 hours of the campaign, alumni and students were encouraged to support any programs and initiatives at UT that are important to them. This is their 2nd year, and organizers hope the event will become an annual tradition.
The University Health Services used to offer free STI testing for students. However, that policy is no longer available. The UT Medical Association is striving to bring back this free testing, though, and has launched a petition for reinstatement.
University Health Services charges students up to $140 for STI testing. In the past, the UHS offered free testing on campus. However, it is not being offered anymore. UT Medical Student Association is striving to reinstate it and has created a petition to lobby for it back. AMSA President Madison Maddox and advocacy team leader Michelle Gutierrez discussed their organization's movement to encourage the UHS in reinstating free STI testing.
Okay, so we want STI testing to be free, on campus, and anonymous. And those are the big issues that we have. You can get tested for free and anonymously off campus, but a lot of students don't have cars and it's not accessible that way. You can have your insurance pay for most of it here and have it be pretty much free or very cheap, but most students are still on their parents' insurance, and so it's not totally anonymous, and that would keep students from getting tested.
Health Promotion Coordinator Susan Kurtz discusses why UHS services are costly.
We've done everything we can to keep the costs low for students, to make it affordable. We understand and want to make sure that cost is never a barrier to students accessing care or accessing treatment or accessing testing. The process for testing, it is quite cost prohibitive. It's a very costly test, lab exam.
Despite this barrier, AMSA believes their petition will help the UHS realize that students deserve free STI testing on campus.
Right now we have about 500, 600 signatures. We are looking to have it somewhere between 5,000, 7,000, so we're really working on pushing it now. So yeah, it's only been out for 2 weeks, but we're really, really excited about the outcome.
Ali Triolo, Good Morning, Texas.
Dozens of members of the public braved the shade on campus Sunday for Smile's 4th annual event to raise funds to combat childhood cancer. This year's event raised more than $50,000 for St. Baldrick's Foundation, which allocates money to pediatric cancer research organizations. It honored Caroline Richards, who was diagnosed with bone cancer in January of 2014 and died in January of this year at the age of 12. Today would make her 13 years old. Richards was named one of St. Baldrick's Foundation's 2015 ambassadors shortly before her death, and the hashtag #RestInPeaceCaroline went viral after she passed. Her family said at the event that she had always wanted to be famous.
It was like super crazy, but like awesome at the same time. I felt really brave but scared at the same time. It was cool to see everyone being so supportive, and I'm glad everyone came out to watch.
We've seen some beautiful sunny skies this past week, but it's looking like we might see some rain in the future.
Our Connor Barrick is live in the studio with this week's weather. Connor, can we expect more sunny skies?
Cloudy and humid weather is definitely in our future, and some rain too.
Have a news tip or story idea? Call the KVR News Tip Line, 475-8181.
Welcome back to KVR News. Well, if you're looking for sunshine, you're going to have to wait another week. It's supposed to be mostly cloudy with chances of scattered showers throughout the week. Temperatures will be in the high in 70s during the day and reach into the 60s overnight. For tomorrow, it will be partly sunny, 78, and a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Wednesday will warm up a little bit with a high of 82 and only a 20% chance of showers and a low of 65. Be ready to bring those umbrellas back out for Thursday for some chances of scattered thunderstorms with a 50% chance of rain, continuing into Friday morning. Friday, the highs will be in the 80s with only a 20% chance of rain at night. Finally, we will get to enjoy the weekend with mostly sunny weather, but a chance of 20% chance of rain on Saturday. Everything should clear up and the sun should be out by Sunday with a high in the 80s and mostly sunny. So get outside and enjoy the outdoors. Just remember to keep those umbrellas nearby throughout the week. Live in the Weather Center, Connor Barrick, KVR News.
All right, thanks, Connor.
College Press Box's Matthew Adams will be in the studio to talk Longhorn sports after the break. Stay tuned.
Now, KVR News at 9 Sports.
Welcome back. I'm Matthew Adams with College Press Box. Former Texas Longhorn golf champion Jordan Spieth became the youngest player to win the Masters tournament at Augusta since 21-year-old Tiger Woods put on his first green jacket in 1997. Spieth took his clubs to the field, becoming the first player since 1976 to lead the event from wire to wire. His 18-under score tied the Masters record, and he is the only player to reach 19 under par in Masters history.
All right, we'll have Khortlyn Cole with your entertainment news after the break. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Welcome back to KVR News. The MTV Movie Awards took over LA on Sunday night, bringing us laughter, heartfelt moments, and of course, shirtless Zac Efron. With Amy Schumer's incredibly funny opening monologue and Zac Efron's crotch grab of Neighbors co-star Dave Franco may have stolen the night. But they weren't the only winners at the awards show this past weekend. Stars arrived at the Nokia Theater to toast the best movies of the year. Vin Diesel had a heartwarming moment when he sang "See You Again" from Furious 7, honoring his late best friend and castmate, Paul Walker. Fault in Our Stars' Shailene Woodley left him teary-eyed. The Fault in Our Stars was definitely the big winner of the night, taking home Movie of the Year, Best Female Performance, and Best Kiss. HBO's most popular TV series, Game of Thrones, returned last night for the premiere of its 5th season. The ratings haven't been released yet, but are expected to be at least 5 or 6 million. However, some bad news for HBO. The first 4 episodes of the series leaked before the season 5 premiere even aired, which may negatively impact viewer count. Unfortunately, the episodes that were sent out to reviewers were put online nearly a full day before the premiere. HBO released a statement confirming that the leak originated from them to receive us. HBO is no stranger to the illicit downloading of their episodes, as Game of Thrones clocked in at 2014's most pirated TV show. Actress Gwyneth Paltrow was slashing her food budget to try to raise awareness about hunger. Paltrow accepted the food bank for NYC challenge to live on food stamps for a week with a budget of $29. After accepting the challenge, she tweeted a picture of whole grain brown rice, black beans, peas, eggs, gluten-free tortillas, cilantro, lime, and fresh vegetables. Paltrow was eaten alive on social media with numerous tweets of backlash. The reactions to this post criticized the actress and called her food selections unrealistic, oblivious, and anything but noble. Twitter users also suggested Paltrow donate her millions to the cause instead of just trying social media to try and make a statement. But if her goal was to get us to start talking, it sure worked. That's all for your entertainment news. Be sure to follow us at KVR ENT for updates throughout the week. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Khortlyn, and thanks for joining us tonight. I am Stacy Rickard.
And I'm Cinnamon Cornell. For news and weather updates throughout the week, you can follow us on Twitter at KVR News.
Stay tuned for College Press Box up next on Texas Student Television. Have a great night.